A lot of people are claiming that this announcement from Nadine Dorries, big, very big loyalist to Boris Johnson, that this is actually more about, the dead cat strategy. Stop looking at Partygate over here. Oh, look at this attack on the BBC over here. Do you think that's what it is, or do you think this is part of a genuine plan, long-standing plan to change the way the BBC is funded?
Well, I think Nadine Dorries. And I think Nadine Dorries made it clear when she came in as Secretary of State that she was really concerned about the way the BBC was operating and that she was going to look at this. So I'm not surprised that this has been announced. I just hope that, unlike some other announcements that have been made in the past, it will actually happen. And I think she is strong enough to push this through, because I think most people now really do realise that the broadcasting era is changed so much that the idea that in order to have a television and never watch the BBC, you have to pay a license fee is just out of date and needs to be changed. So I welcome it very much. And quite honestly, I don't care why she's done it, as long as
it's done. I mean, I can see the point of having a publicly funded news organisation. I'm not a sort of a defund the BBC. I'm cut the funding to the BBC would be more my line. I think there's a perfectly good argument for some neutral, unbiased, unaffected by who owns it news broadcasting in this country, and some documentaries and the like. But the reality is it's not unbiased, it's not neutral. We saw, look, you and I both Brexiteer campaigners, the campaign, the outright campaigning by the BBC against Brexit, the culture wars that inhabit everything from CBeebies coverage to their online tweets to wildlife documentaries, for goodness, and all of their news broadcasts. Most people can see right now that the BBC has an agenda, and that agenda is often at odds with a lot of what, for instance, the Conservatives or Brexiteers want. Is that an argument to change the whole licence fee, or is that an argument to try and tackle that particular issue?
Yes, I think there's no doubt about it, and even the new Director General accepted that there was a kind of culture within the BBC that was making it very difficult for other ideas and other views other than what would be assumed to be the kind of metropolitan liberal view. And I'm afraid that that's what comes across, not just in Brexit. And I have to say, I don't think their campaigning against Brexit, even though we've left, has given, they've still got this mindset that something might happen and we might be able to go back in again. But I think you're right that there is a need for good quality programs. But of course, so many areas now of our coverage are covered by other channels extremely well. I mean, news now, I have to say, I do not watch BBC News anymore because I don't want to listen to half an hour of sort of almost opinion. I'd much rather get a straightforward news. Somebody has been killed, somebody has had a baby, whatever.
Yeah, or hear the two different opinions. And that's the thing. I don't think we are seeing that anymore. I have to say, I don't think we're seeing it with Sky News. I think there's a reason why other news broadcasters have actually been very successful. Obviously, we're going to be, launching the TV station in March as well. So I'm not speaking from personal benefit. I've still got a job whether I'm on the radio or not. But this is the thing. There is when a national broadcasting body that is paid for on pain of going to jail if you don't pay your licence fee and they refuse to pay the fine, whether you use this service or not, when that no longer has the trust of whether it's a majority or a large minority of the people, then that organisation is in trouble. And a load of BBC staff and stars tweeting out yesterday, oh, it's only 43p a day for all of these different channels, most of which none of us ever use or ever watch. Some of them, have only got a couple of 100,000 regular users, for goodness sake. The point is, whether it's 43p a day or not, it's the fact that we don't have a choice about paying that 43p.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And that's what I think the government actually committed in its manifesto, that it would look at the whole way the BBC was funded. And, but we'll hear a lot of whining now from BBC presenters and executives about how they're going to have to make huge cuts. Well, of course, when you see some of the salaries, I know in total it doesn't add up to huge amounts, but when you see the salaries that some of the presenters are getting, and then you see the way that their programs have been shaped, I just think it's not acceptable anymore. And it cannot be in the modern day age, it cannot be right that if you want to watch other programs, you have to pay a fee to the BBC. And I think this is the beginning of the end of the license fee, and the sooner it comes, I think the better for a lot of people, and particularly at the moment when so many elderly people are being hassled, really hassled, to pay their license fee.
Indeed. And the key thing is, lots of people say, well, it's great value. There are many, many millions of people who would happily continue to pay that fee. They say, well, it's great value. They'll continue to do so. But the point is this idea that, but you get all of these different things. I can listen to pop music or rock music or any other kind of music I want on any of the huge variety of commercial stations. I can find, children's programming on a huge variety of other stations as well. Movies, drama. We look at the best drama of the last few years. Who are we kidding? It's all on Netflix, isn't it? So it is a bit of a nonsense, this side, or Sky Atlantic is another one as well. It's a bit of a nonsense. This stuff is, you'll only get a quality documentary or quality drama or music or news if you listen to or watch the BBC. I mean, the variety of different choices right now is huge.
Well, that's exactly what the Secretary of State's saying. The broadcasting era has changed. And there are one or two, perhaps even half a dozen really good programmes on the BBC. Yep. But people then could be paying for that rather than paying for something else. But at the moment, people are paying for lots of other things, hardly ever watching, many of them, the BBC, and yet being so it's just not, it isn't going to be continued, but it to be like that. And I really welcome the fact, whatever reason she's brought it out for, I welcome the fact that it's out there, and now we can have that discussion. But the Liberal elite will be out in their droves.
Oh, yes. But the main thing is they will never accept that they brought it on themselves. Baroness Kate Hoey, really appreciate this. Thank you for joining us.